Hi everybody. So to introduce myself, I'm 31, female, and have been in a relationship for the past year and a half. Currently, I'm also pregnant and have started to show as well. My partner and I are not married yet, but we got engaged a few weeks back, and so far nobody knows about it because I'm a very private person and so is he. So the only people who know are our families. Nobody apart from that. But a few days back, I decided to tell my ex about it, and he's been going around telling everyone what happened and has been calling me a stone cold you know what. He tried to text me after 3 years of no contact, and I just replied with a picture of me with my fiancé where my baby bump was showing. After sending that picture, I blocked him, and that's why he's been so upset about all this, because he was basically trying to ask for forgiveness after 3 years and after totally breaking my heart. I know that this might not look good in my favor, but I have an explanation as to why I did what I did. So 3 years ago, he and I were engaged, and we had been together for 2 years by then. I had liked him since we were in college together, but we lost touch after graduation. We met again at somebody else's wedding. We got to talking, and that's when we started dating. Things went pretty fast from then on. We moved in together, and soon enough we were engaged. I was quite happy with him. I could imagine a life with him, and he seemed to be happy with me as well. But then, unfortunately, a couple of months after our engagement, while we were still planning our wedding, I got into a terrible car crash. And it was really bad. I was actually in a coma for a few weeks. Thankfully, I did get out of it alive, and even though it took me a lot of hard work and time to properly heal. And also a lot of surgeries and other medical efforts. I would like to say that I'm fine now. I'm even trying to get back to driving on my own because for a while I would not drive at all since I was so terrified. But anyway, I'm getting better now. However, back then things were pretty bad. And the worst part was that when I woke up, my parents told me that my ex-fiancé had not been visiting me at all. He had just come to see me the first day, and then he said that he was too overwhelmed, and so he just didn't come after that. That was quite shocking for me because I didn't expect that kind of thing from him. However, I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt, so I called him and asked him to come over to see me in the hospital. When he did so, it was very clear that he was repulsed by the sight of me, and it made me very self-conscious, but I still try not to let it get to me. I know that some people can get very iffy about people who have been in an accident or sick people, and I thought that maybe he was one of those people. I tried to keep things light and normal, and for a few days he visited me every day, but as soon as he would come, it would start feeling like he was desperate to get out of there. So one day I just addressed it and asked him if he was really that overwhelmed by seeing me, because it was going to be a problem if he was, since it was unlikely that my scars and my injuries were going to heal anytime soon. And from the way he was behaving, I was not sure if he would be able to take it. And then he told me that I was right. He really was desperate to get out of there because he really hated hospitals. And most importantly, the doctors had said that my scars were here to stay, at least for a good few decades, because things were pretty bad. That included my facial scars, and they are still here. It's been 3 years since the accident, but I still have a long scar running across my temple to the top of my eyebrow, and another one on my other cheek. I don't mind them. I think it's part of me now, and anybody who finds it ugly can just leave me alone and not look at me. But that's how I feel about it right now. This was not the case back then because I hated how I looked. And my ex did not help the case. He was pretty heartless, because just 2 weeks after my accident, he told me that he wanted to break up with me and call off the engagement because he knew for a fact that he couldn't be with me for the rest of my life, knowing that I was always going to look like this. He also said that he didn't know how long it was going to take me to heal from my physical injuries, if I was ever going to be the same again, and he just couldn't take it because it was too much for him. He said that he was really sorry that he was doing this to me, but honestly, he didn't appear to be that sorry. I was obviously shocked. I tried to get him to stay so that we could talk things out. He walked out that day, and later when I tried to call him and text him, I found out that I was blocked. It was obviously a huge heartbreak for me, especially because I was already going through something so difficult. I started hating how I looked. I started hating myself. And it took all the effort of my parents and my doctors to get me to stop self-sabotaging, because I literally stopped putting in any effort into healing, and I was just so despondent all the time. Thankfully, they did get me to talk to a therapist. They got me some counseling, and 3 years later, I think I'm over it now. But I would definitely say that that year was one of the darkest periods of my life. Even after I got out of the hospital, things were pretty difficult for me. I didn't know what to do with my life without him. I tried really hard to get back in touch with him, but he had told all his friends and family not to respond. So there was no way that I could talk to him, and I was forced to move on. It was heartbreaking. It shattered me. But 1.5 years later, my friends had forced me to come to a party with them because I would stay cooped up in my house all day, and I'm so incredibly lucky that I decided to go. I'm so thankful for my friends who had my back, because that's how I met my current fiancé. He asked me out at the party, and I don't know what happened, but I did give him my number, something I hadn't done in a very long time. But he was cute. He seemed charming, so I figured, why not? I didn't have anything to lose at that point in time. And then there was no looking back. In the beginning, I tried to avoid talking to him. I was very hot and cold. But he didn't give up on me. He stayed, and slowly he found out all about my past. And even though I'm guessing I was a little difficult to deal with, he stayed by my side, and now we are engaged and on our way to welcome our first child. So life really did come full circle for me, and I'm very happy about that. But then I was heartbroken that I had been left by my ex. But I think now, whatever happened was for the best. However, that does not mean that I have forgiven him for everything. I still hate him from the bottom of my heart, and that's why I did what I did. I just couldn't understand how he even had the audacity to text me, knowing that I had a boyfriend. He didn't know that I was engaged, he didn't know that I was pregnant, but he did know I had a boyfriend because I had a few pictures of him with me on social media, and I have a public account. So I refuse to believe that he didn't know. In his text, he basically told me that he had tried to move on from me for the past 3 years. He had done everything in his power to forget about me, but he hadn't been able to do so. He said that he had been traveling, he had been working hard, he had been doing everything to keep himself distracted, but no matter how many flings he had, no matter how many dates he went on, it just never made a difference to how much he missed me. He told me that he really wanted to make things work with me, and he knew that I might not want the same thing, but he would definitely encourage me to reply to him, to give him a second chance, even though he knew that whatever he had done in the past was unforgivable. So it's crazy that even though he knew that it was unforgivable, he still wanted me to forgive him. The audacity to demand something like that is just insane. Obviously, he didn't mention anything about knowing that I had a boyfriend. And I was pretty annoyed by that. The presumption that I would just forgive him and reply to him. That's what really annoyed me, and that's why I sent him that picture of me with my fiancé and my bump. Because I wanted him to see that I was happy without him, and I have no regrets. However, a few people back from college who used to know us have reached out to me to let me know that what I did was totally wrong and that it was totally unnecessary. They believe that I should have just let it go, that I shouldn't have replied and I should have blocked him, but there was no reason for me to be so petty. But I've never been on bad terms with them, and they're not particularly close to him either, so I would say that they are kind of neutral on the whole thing. So if they are saying this, I don't know what to think. My fiancé doesn't think I did anything wrong. He thinks that my ex had it coming. My friends and my family also don't think that I did anything wrong. But I don't know, that might be coming from a biased point of view. So that's why I'm here. I want to ask if I did anything wrong, in your opinion. AITA for responding with a picture with my fiancé and my baby bump when my ex tried to text me after 3 years of no contact to try and get back with me. Edit. Hi, so here's the thing. A lot of people ask me if somebody had given him my number or something, but well, I haven't changed my phone number in the past 3 years. So that's how he knew. And I had been blocked and then I had blocked him myself, but that was his previous number. He had changed his number, so when he texted me this time, I didn't know it was him until I started reading the message. Otherwise, he wouldn't even have had the opportunity to message me in the first place. I hope that clears things up, because some of you were quite confused about this. Update 1. Hey everybody, thank you so much for all the comments. I feel so much better about what I did now. Also, yes, you guys are right. He definitely did ruin my pregnancy and engagement announcement because I was not ready to tell people yet. And he has just gone around telling everyone that will listen to him. Of course, most of the people who know are my acquaintances from college, and right now, after the reaction that I got from them, I don't really care about anything, but even then, I don't think it was his place to share something like this. But whatever, I don't really care because we spoke about it and my fiancé and I have decided we're going to make the announcement. As it is, even though we were planning on keeping a secret for a couple of weeks more, we figured that we might as well let people know because I've spoken to a few friends and they have already found out because I wanted to know their opinions. So now the rest of our family might as well know the truth. So he and I posted about it earlier today and people have been extremely happy for both of us. And all the people who had been bothering me, trying to tell me that what I had done was wrong, I've just blocked all of them because I don't need this kind of negative energy in my life. Our friends and the rest of my family, my relatives, are obviously extremely happy, and in a couple of weeks we are going to throw a party for all of them to celebrate both things, our engagement and the pregnancy. I already know for a fact that I'm not getting married until after the baby's born, so there's still a long time to go. But we can party it up for now, and I'm looking forward to it. It will also be a pleasant distraction from the unpleasant mess that I had to suffer because of my ex. I don't know why he had to come back into my life at all, but so far he hasn't tried to get in touch with me again. And as it is, I've blocked him, so I don't think that he'll be able to even if he wants to. So that's a good thing, and I just hope that he has learned his lesson and that he will stay away from me now, because I don't want him back in my life. I don't want to hear from him, and I don't want to see him ever again. I'm better off without him, and I know that now. Update 2. Hey, so it's literally 3 a.m. in the morning right now, and I don't even know what to say. So a couple of hours ago, I guess around 11 last night, my phone started buzzing and it was a call from an unknown number. I felt like it might have been my ex, so I didn't pick it up. Then it started buzzing again and it was the same number, and then I knew that it had to be him, so I decided to block that number, and I also made up my mind that I was going to change my phone number because I didn't want him to be able to have any access to me. I told my fiancé about it as well, and he said the same thing, that I should just change my number and then he wouldn't have any way to contact me. After that, we went to sleep at around midnight, and then we woke up again at 1 in the morning because all of a sudden my phone had started buzzing off the hook. I received one call from a number and I declined the call. Then I blocked the number, but then just a few seconds later there was a call from another number and I repeated the process. I thought that 2 numbers would be the max, but then for the next half an hour I just kept receiving non-stop calls. After one point I literally had to switch off my phone so that I could try and sleep. But by then I was panicking because I don't know how he was doing this. Even my husband had to wake up because I had started crying and I didn't even realize it. I was so nervous. But anyway, he comforted me and he was the one who actually told me to switch off my phone because I was so worried and anxious that I had completely forgotten that I could do that. He calmed me down, and after that I tried to go back to sleep, but I just couldn't. However, I didn't want to keep my husband from sleeping, so about 20 minutes ago, he went back to sleep because he had to go to work in the morning. I have taken a day off because I don't think that I'm in the correct space of mind to go to work. But yes, I have to say that this has definitely got out of hand. I'm literally scared to go back to sleep right now because I don't know what will happen when I wake up and I switch my phone on. I don't know why he's doing this. He surely cannot think that he still has a chance with me, especially after everything that has happened and also considering the fact that I'm with somebody else now. And I'm literally about to welcome my baby into the world with this person. Surely he cannot be that delusional. And even if he is, that's not my problem. Update 3. Okay, so it's been a couple of days since my last update, and finally I was able to change my number. I don't think that he'll be able to contact me anymore, and I'm making sure that I only let a few trusted people have my number this time. It's just going to be my family and my close friends, nobody else, and of course a few co-workers, but apart from that, I don't trust anybody. I don't know. I feel like I've gotten very paranoid, and I think the hormones might be a part of it. But after what happened the other night, I think I definitely have a reason to feel a little anxious about all of this. But anyway, for now, I'm feeling slightly better about having changed my number. Apart from that, I also have heard from some of my college friends that he has been telling everyone that he really wants me back, that he's ready to do anything it takes, and that he just needs a chance to speak to me in person because he knows for a fact that if I see him again, he will be able to convince me that we are perfect together. We made it work once, so there's no reason that we will not be able to make it work once again. I mean, seriously, being this delusional, it can't be good for his health. I don't understand why he seriously believes that I would just take him back, because even if I did see him in person, I don't think that I will change my mind about what I'm sure of. I don't feel anything for him anymore. I have moved on from that phase of my life, and I have moved on well. I'm very, very happy with my current partner. I'm happy with my life. I don't need him back at all. And I just don't understand why this is so difficult for him to accept. And most importantly, why does he think that speaking to our friends from college is going to make it better for him? What are they going to do? I'm not even in touch with most of them. I'm just friends with a couple of people that I used to be close with, and I'm close with them now. But apart from that, the people that he's talking to, I don't have anything to do with them. All I can say for a fact is that he's just trying to gain sympathy from everyone. He's just trying to make it seem like I'm the heartless one, even though he was the one who left me just because he thought that I was going to have scars on my face for the rest of my life, and he wouldn't be able to deal with that. And it's a good thing that he left me at that point of my life, when I was at my lowest, because it made me realize how he was absolutely wrong for me. So I don't hold that against him. I'm glad that he left. But now, whatever's happening, it's just way too much. I don't even understand why he started texting me and trying to bother me all of a sudden in the first place. Why, after 3 years, he had to come back into my life. To be honest, I had kind of forgotten about him. I had a lot going on with me to even think about him. So, if it had not been for this accident, I probably wouldn't have thought about him at all. And I would have just moved on with my life as it had been going before all of this started happening. Honestly, I'm just annoyed, and I'm lucky that I have such a patient fiance by my side to support me through all of this, because right now things are really complicated for me. Obviously, being pregnant is a journey in itself, and I feel like he's ruining it for me. I don't want any part of this in my life at the moment, and yet, after what has happened, it's affecting me. I'm trying not to be affected, I really am. I'm trying to put it all out of my head and stay distracted, but it just doesn't work. I just keep feeling really angry and resentful, and all the feelings that I thought I had pushed down and got rid of are coming back to the surface. Let me make it clear, it's not like I feel any sort of love for him. I don't miss him or anything. But I just feel really angry every single time I think about it. And I'm willing to bet that it's not good for the baby, but I can't help it. I just feel really, I don't even know how to describe it. But anyway, I know that in a few more weeks, this will all blow over. Or at least I'm hoping that it will. Honestly, after everything that has happened, in the past couple of days, I don't really know what to expect. The only thing that I'm sure of is that no matter what, my fiancé will always be by my side, and the same goes for my friends and my family as well. Hopefully, to distract myself from all of this, I do have a party to plan for this weekend, so maybe that will help me take my mind off of things. I'm looking forward to it, to be honest, because I think I need it more than ever right now. Anyway, thank you so much for all the supportive comments I have been receiving. It really means a lot to me. I don't think I've said that enough, but yes, it definitely does mean a lot, especially with current circumstances. Update 4. So today I had my party, and in the beginning everything was going well, but then around 6 p.m. my ex snuck into my house. Yep, you guys read it right. That's exactly what happened. And I'm still shaking with anger because every time I think about it, I feel so horrified that he thought he could do something like this and get away with it. Anyway, what happened was that he had been begging everybody from college to tell him my address or something. And people had been holding out. But I guess somebody must have broken out. Somebody must have felt bad for him and given it to him. I don't know who. I know for a fact it's not any of my close friends, and I don't even know how anybody else knows where I live. But I don't think there's any point in worrying about any of those things at the moment. The point is, he found out where I live, and apparently he had been coming to my neighborhood for the past couple of days, and that's just so creepy that I can't even talk about it without feeling disgusted. But anyway, that's what he said. One moment I was just talking to some of my friends, and the next moment he was in the room. He was kneeling in front of me and asking me to take him back, and saying that he was ready to do whatever it took to get me to forgive him, that he had been wrong back then, when he broke up with me, and that he should have known that I was his soulmate. He started saying that he just needed one more chance. He was crying and everything. I literally just froze in my place because I didn't even know what was going on. He was the last person I expected to see at this party, and everybody took a couple of seconds to even figure out what was going on. But when my fiancé saw what was happening, he put two and two together, and he came towards my ex, and he lifted him up by the arm and started dragging him towards the door. But then my ex got up and started thrashing around, yelling at my husband, and they were very close to a physical altercation, and I didn't want that. So that's when I snapped back to reality and intervened, because there was no other option left. I was shocked, but I couldn't just sit back and let things happen. I was not going to let him get away with this, so I got up, I asked my husband to let him go, and I just called the cops because I wanted him off my property as soon as possible. Thankfully, by then, my dad told me that he had already called the police, so there was no need to worry about it. At this point, my ex started crying in front of me. He said he had been scoping the neighborhood for the past couple of days, but he never had the courage to come to me. But today, he thought that he could do it because he saw that a lot of people were coming to my house, so he thought that he would just sneak in with the crowd and talk to me. And now that he finally did come to see me, he expected me to at least show him some sympathy, at least say that I had forgiven him, even if I didn't want to get back with him. And I was not going to do that, so I told him I was never going to forgive him, and if he expected that at any point, I was going to take him back. He was seriously delusional and he needed to get help. He started crying even harder, saying that I couldn't do this to him. He said he knew that I still love him and that I was just doing all of this to punish him, and even that he was ready to take care of this baby if that's what it took, but he just wanted me to come back to him. He kept crying and I just stood there not saying a word. That went on for a couple of minutes, and afterwards, when he saw that I was not going to say anything to comfort him, he started cussing at me. That's when my husband grabbed him again, and this time he pushed him out of the house and slammed the door shut. He didn't leave or anything, he just stayed there outside the door, slamming his body against it and yelling the most horrible things about me and my husband, and that's when the cops showed up. Long story short, we have decided to file for a restraining order, and I think we're going to get it because obviously the cops saw for themselves what was going on. Update 5. Hey everybody, I know it's been a while, almost 2 years since my last update, but I would just like to let everybody know that a couple of months ago, my fiancé and I finally got married, and he's my husband now. And I also have a baby daughter, and we're really happy. As for my ex, well, we did get a restraining order against him, but just to be sure, we even moved out of our old house. I was sorry to do that because I really liked that house, but my safety came first, and since we were going to have a baby, there was nothing more important than being safe. But this is still good. My family's happy, and we're all doing well, and that's more than I could have asked for 5 years back, when I was struggling to keep myself together. I'm really grateful for everything that I have, and I'm very thankful for everybody who has been so supportive of me. Stay tuned for more stories from our girl relationships.